The name Deep Forest comes from our first album, which was centered mainly on voices from Africa. We used a lot of pygmy voices. Pygmies live in the rainforest. The first song we wrote, we called Deep Forest, which was the first track on the album. When asked the title of the album, we said Deep Forest. And when people asked if this was the name of the group, we said yes.
Deep Forest's first album caused a sensation in charts all over the world. It sold 1,500,000 copies. It was the leading French export in '94, first gold record for a French group in the UK, gold record in the USA, in Norway and in France, and also made double platinum in Australia.
Throughout the world, people found it difficult to classify the Deep Forest music. It didn't fit into any precise category. We have a very wide audience, some very young, some much older. It's not well defined. There are jazz, dance, rap, and rock fans. A lot of people probably like the music precisely because it is hard to classify.
Après le premier album, on a continué à faire quelques chansons en prévision du second.
After the first album, we started working on some tracks for a second album. We tried composing with music from India and other regions. We needed a concept for the new album. We heard a record from Transylvania, a compilation of several Transylvanian artists. We were both touched by the voice of Marta Sebastian. That was it. That was our concept. We would work with voices from Central and Eastern Europe. This voice we use as a chorus is in fact the end of a song. We cut and use several other bits. From there, we can create a whole new melody with a completely different arrangement. Michel found some chords to accompany and follow all the variations.
Bohème, the second album, is richer by far than its predecessor. Real songs, a greater variety of orchestration. It has perhaps more edge, but is just as elegant and it offers new encounters.
In the new album, most of the voices are from Central Europe, but they're mixed with voices from Taiwan and Mongolia. There are Urok, Native Americans, and Inuit from northern Canada. It's quite an amazing mixture. In Lament, we use the voice of a Mongolian singer who is able to produce several voices simultaneously in his throat. One note is sort of a drone, and the others are harmonics. We used a voice from Poland and Mongolian choir singing. It's a strange combination.
Bulgarian Melody is a breath of fresh air in the album. It is a traditional song which Marta recorded during her stay here. It is a truly classic song, a mixture of classical and traditional singing. My idea was to do an arrangement giving a lied feel, something sober, just piano and voice.
Juste avec une partie de piano et la voix, c'est tout.
For this song, we used the voice of a singer who is now deceased. At the time, he was in jail, and the song tells of his suffering. He wants to be out, to see his wife, to walk in the village of his youth, etc. You can hear him sobbing, and that's the part we used. The music brings out the emotion in the song. In Café Europa, we tried to further broaden the scope. The music has influences from Central Europe. We used instruments such as cymbalum, violin, and panpipes. And to provide contrast from Central Europe, we used the voice of Yurok Native American. In the background, we used Inuit voices from northern Canada. It's quite a combination. Café Europa is a reference to a place in Budapest. By choosing Bohème as the name of the album, we refer to this song, which also evokes an air of both a nostalgia and joy, which is what people experience when they listen to Central European music. Bohemia is a region in Transylvania. It is also a lifestyle. It is the way of the life of gypsies, who moved all the way from India to Spain. It's also a feeling. We wanted yet again to end with something which is open. Concerning cinema, we were approached by Robert Altman for his film Pret-a-Porter, which of course pleased us tremendously. When we met him, he asked us to play some new tracks. We played him some demo tapes of the second album, and when he heard Marta, he said, "That's what I want for the film." Shortly after that, Hollywood contacted us about a film called Strange Days, produced by James Cameron and directed by Catherine Bigelow. And this is a much bigger project. They've asked us to do the entire soundtrack, about 50 minutes of music. This will include 2 or 3 songs which are typical deep forest songs. One of these, the song played during the credit titles, will be a duet with Peter Gabriel. We composed the music a few weeks ago, sent it to him, and we don't know yet who will write the lyrics. Maybe him, but he will definitely do the singing.
Remixing is very interesting because it makes it possible for us to collaborate with artists we like and want to work with, without having to undertake a whole production. We worked with Youssou N'Dour, a Senegalese singer with a very special voice. We also worked with John Anderson from Yes and Sally Oldfield. We bring them out of their usual context and add our personal touch, so creating something totally new.
We want to create a live show as amazing as what we can produce musically in the studio, not just going on stage and playing synthesizers. We need a strong visual content. We met 2 people in Montreal who've developed an incredible system for creating 3-dimensional virtual images on stage. Something like a hologram which can move around the stage. These images can be triggered by playing the music, making it possible to improvise both the visuals and the music. It would be possible to be on stage with virtual people, say 20 pygmies, people from all over the world, and combine this with real musicians and singers. The results should be quite amazing.